Hello there, my name is Mitchell. I'm a fashion tutor. In this video, you will learn how to draft a pointed sleeve. Let's draft a basic bodice first. This is the shoulder line. This is from the shoulder to the armhole line. This is the bust line, the under bust, and the waistline. Divide the shoulder measurement by 2, add half inch for sewing allowance. Draw a straight line from the shoulder measurement to the armhole line. Shoulder slant is 1 inch, the neck width is 3 inches, and the depth is 3 inches. You can use any measurement of your choice. Divide the bust span measurements by 2. You get the bust span by measuring from one nipple to the other. Mark the measurements on the waistline, the under bust line, and the bust line, and draw a straight line like this. This is the bust span line. On the waistline, mark half inch on the left hand side and 1 inch on the right hand side. Do the same on the under bust. On the bust line, measure 1 inch downwards. Connect the dart lines from there. The dart lines should look like this when you're done. On the armhole line, mark the bust circumference divided by 4. Mark the same measurement on the bust line. On the under bust line, mark the under bust circumference divided by 4 plus your dart allowance. On the waistline, mark the waist circumference divided by 4 plus the dart, that's 1.5 inches dart allowance. After that, you connect the points like this. Moving on to the armhole, find the midpoint. On that midpoint, measure half inch inwards. Make a curve like this. Moving on to the back, this is the armhole line, the bust line, and the waistline. We don't need under bust line for this. The neck width is 3 inches, depth 1 inch. The shoulder slant is 1 inch. On the waistline, mark the bust span measurements. Mark the same measurements on the armhole line and bust line. On the waistline, mark half inch on both sides and connect the dart lines from the armhole line. So for the front, the dart line started 1 inch below the bust line, while for the back, the dart line started on the armhole line. On the armhole line, mark the bust circumference divided by 4, mark the same measurements on the bust line. On the waistline, mark the waist circumference divided by 4 plus the 1 inch dart. Moving on to the armhole, find the midpoint and make a curve like this from that midpoint. This is how to draft a basic bodice pattern. If you have questions, leave them in the comment section. This is a basic sleeve pattern. You can use long or short sleeve. This is the back and this is the front. Attach another pattern paper to the top. The sleeve cap height is 4 inches. On that 4 inches, measure 2 inches upwards like this. Then draw a straight line. Draw a straight line in the middle like this. The length of this line depends on how pointed you want the sleeve to be. You can use 2 inches, 3 inches, 5 inches, depending on how pointed you want it to be. So assuming you're using 4 inches, you will measure the 4 inches from that 2 inches above the cap height. Draw a straight line on the side like this from the 4 inches to the 2 inches above the cap height. Do the same on the other side. Measure the curved parts and write whatever you get down. That is, you measured from the 2 inches above the cap height to the end of the sleeve. Do the same on the other side, which is the back of the sleeve. Measure these parts too. Write down whatever you get. Measure the other side. Attach another pattern paper to the bodice like this. We'll start with the front. Whatever measurement you have on the curved side of the front sleeve, you mark the same measurement on the curved part of the front armhole. From that point, square a straight line to the shoulder. Find the midpoint. On that midpoint, square a straight line like this. The measurement you have on this part of the sleeve, you mark the same measurement on this side like this. What you have on this side of the sleeve should be what you have on this other side of the armhole. Then you square a straight line. Square a straight line on the other side too. So this is the front bodice. We'll work on the back bodice now. The measurement you have on the curved part of the back sleeve, mark the same measurement on the curved part of the armhole like this. On that point, you square a straight line to the shoulder. Find the midpoint. On that midpoint, you square a straight line. The measurement you have on this side of the sleeve, that's the back, mark the same measurements on this part like this. You square a straight line on the other side. We are repeating everything we did on the front bodice. We are done drafting, go ahead and cut. When you're cutting your fabric, remember to add sewing allowance round it. Add sewing allowance to the top like this, to both sides and the hem. This is the front bodice. Your fabric should be on fold when you're cutting. You add sewing allowance like this round it. This is the back bodice. You add zip allowance and sewing allowance round it. These two pointed parts should be equal. This is how you join them. You first of all join the front and the back bodies on the shoulder, then you bring the sleeve and attach it like this, just like we attach a normal sleeve. And remember, the sleeve has front and back. You make sure the front part of the sleeve is attached to the front bodice and the back is attached to the back bodice. Hope you found this tutorial helpful. I'll see you in my next one. Have a good one. Bye.